Well, I just stopped by this Labs over here. I'm still okay on fuel. About 3 hours to Las Vegas. So this is Nevada. But I was running low on DEF. And then I remember that till I reach Las Vegas, there's not gonna be too many truck stops. Well, there are gonna be a couple of small truck stops. Yeah, I need to go this way because there's no left turn and my Highway 93 is over there. Beautiful scenery, but not as beautiful as in British Columbia. Like the mountains are the further away. But it's very hot. 31 plus C, which is what, 92 F? Yeah, that road on my left, it looks like a dead end, but actually it's a real road, and the sign said traffic coming from that direction does not stop. So can be quite tricky. Oh, we have some hitchhiking action going on here, but unfortunately I cannot help him.
Head west on US 6 West.
Well, first off, it's a dangerous thing, right? Like, you never know. Maybe these girls are, you know, they're killing truckers for a living, right? You never know. Oh, some guy showed up actually. I don't know if that's a cop but he has a military uniform. Or maybe he's a hunter, I don't know. In a pickup truck. I don't know, can be border patrol, can be police, I don't know, but I'm pretty far from the border. So, but these girls probably are fixing to go to, as they say in Alabama, they're fixing to go to Las Vegas because the winter is coming, right? Over here, I don't think it's gonna be very warm. So yeah, until now I was on Highway 93. I spent the previous night in Jerome, Idaho, off I-84. And then I went about 8 or 10 miles east on 84 and I went straight south on US 93. And that's what brought me here to this town. And for some reason over here Google Maps switched me to US 6, and we're still going kind of like south, at least. Well, now it's gonna be a little bit southwest. Oh, actually, wait a second, we're going into the mountains. So I take back what I said about these mountains being not so good, because we might still see some mountain action over here. Oh yeah, so this is gonna be cool. And I stopped at the rest area, and it was cool. It was like in the desert, and there were mountains in the distance, and I thought I would take some more shots of my truck. I like when it, you know, kind of like what they do with automotive photography, you know, when they put a car in front of some beautiful landscape. And so there was some, of course, my truck is still dirty. I wanted to wash it this morning, but I got up late for some reason, and I didn't want to waste time. But there was a truck wash right at the truck stop where I spent the night. I probably should have washed it on the night before. I don't know. I got lazy. Next gas, 167 miles. So no gas for 167 miles, which is a very good sign for a trucker, since, you know, we don't use gas, right? So what about diesel fuel? So this is gonna be a good video, kind of like going through British Columbia mountains, except now we're going through Nevada mountains. Okay, what happened until now, since the last video? I've been researching my route to get back to Canada, and I've been using this website where I have the subscription to evaluate, you know, the permits, right? The cost of permits and escorts. And like I knew before that it would cost about 3,800 bucks. Oh, check this out. Next 6 miles, safe speed is 35 miles per hour. Uh-oh. So now we're gonna be stuck behind that flatbed over there. Oh wow, check this out. That guy has a 4-axle truck and a Tridem flatbed trailer. You don't often see that, like a 7-axle guy with a flatbed trailer. But like regular flatbed trailer doesn't look like extendable but he has a sign, oversized load. I'm not sure why. I don't see anything sticking out. Be fun. So it's probably the hill goes up probably for 6 miles. That's why. Check this out. These poor guys are working in this 90-degree heat. So 7-axle flatbed. What do you know? Well, why they do that sometimes is, you know, sometimes I see a guy with 4-axle truck with a pusher axle, right? And he has a tandem step deck, right? Once I saw in the port of Tacoma, 4-axle truck, tandem step deck, and I said, why do you need a lift axle truck for this? And the guy says, well, I work for a company where we have different types of trailers, right? So he says, most often I pull IGN lowboy, but this time they gave me the step deck. And that can be a story with this guy. So he can be like an owner operator working for a company, and they said, hey Johnny, we got this exciting mission for you, but it's a 3-axle flatbed. Are you cool with that? And Johnny says, 10 bucks a mile? Dispatch says, no, 11. Johnny says, shoot, okay, I'll do it. Where did that guy come from? Oh, I think he passed when I was standing there at the stop sign. He just passed. There's no passing here, right? You cannot pass because it's a double solid line. guy doing? Like, he could have passed him, but I guess he was slow. Oh, this is exciting. We're doing 33.5 miles per hour. Yeah, it's a pretty steep hill. So I don't think that guy is that heavy, huh? Oh, we have a broken line on the left. So who's brave enough to try to pass this guy? Maybe it's me. I don't think so, because I will need a lot of room to pick up speed from 40 to, let's say, at least 55 to pass him. And of course, right before the turn, the line changes, so now it's no passing. But this guy, this tanker guy, he's sleeping on the job, you know? Single axle, 5-ton truck, and he cannot pass it. Mountain. The sign said Wood Mountain Recreation Area. Elevation 7316 feet. Alright, and now we have a big grade going down. 100 kilometers an hour, 62.15 mph. Yeah, so I was researching the route, and the one that I originally had in mind cost $3,800 US. And again, there's 2 escorts required in Michigan because of the length. And then I started looking, wait a second, what if I go through Ontario? I just had this crazy idea because it's always cheaper to go through Canada. I looked at the miles. It adds about 600 miles to the length, so basically at least 1 extra day. But instead of $3,800, the cost of permits becomes $1,200. What? So if I go this way, it's longer, and of course I'll burn more fuel, but what, 600 miles? So let's say what is that, 1,000 kilometers? Let's say I burn 70 liters, so 700 liters, so probably about $800 Canadian extra in fuel, which is 500 US. But I will save 2,600, so I will waste 500 on fuel extra, right? So $2,000. So I can save $2,000 US if I go like that. Basically, it's a shorter way. So Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska, and then Idaho. Nebraska, and then you go north towards St. Paul, and then cross the border into Ontario on that Highway 61. Basically, you cross southwest of Thunder Bay, and then from there, that's 600 miles, but no escorts. The permit will probably be 500 Canadian, 350 US. So I don't know. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I have to make a final decision about the route, and I sent an email to MTO, Ministry of Transportation of Ontario, asking them if they could just help me out. Will I be able to get a permit if I go through this route, Highway 61 in Ontario, just in case there's any construction, you know. Sometimes, usually they're quite good, and I tell them, here's I'm gonna be this wide, about 11 feet 6 inches wide, probably close to 14 feet tall, this much weight, like approximate. And the guy just says, yeah, you will be able to get that permit, you just need to apply, and if we have issues, we will let you know. Now wait a second, if you have issues, that's already too late, because if I order Ontario permit, that means that I also ordered Minnesota and whatever, Nebraska, right, to go that way. So which means that I probably, after loading, I'm gonna order the first state, like if I can scale, that would be good. But I'll probably order the first 2 states that I have to pass no matter what. Let's say Nevada and Utah, and then Wyoming you get at the port of entry, right? So I have to cross those no matter what, whether I go through Michigan or whether I go through Ontario. And by the way, the other way, like some guys are saying, and hey, why don't you go at the bottom there, right? So it's no mountains, well, much less mountains on I-40 through Arizona and New Mexico. You can go on I-40 east, you know, just go south from Las Vegas instead of north, right? And then catch I-40 there in Kingman, Arizona, and keep going east. Guess what? The cost of permits, according to that website I'm using, whereas before it was $3,800, it becomes $6,200. and I look at the, you know, at the rates opposite each state, like to see which state contributed, why did it jump up like that. And turns out New Mexico is super expensive. Like the permit with escorts, I don't remember if I need escorts, but I know that the total amount I would have to pay to New Mexico would be $1,200. So that's definitely 6,200. That's not a good road, you know. So the easiest way is the same way like I'm coming down now on 93 and 6. So the same way, just take Highway 6 and 93 north, and then make my way, like bypass Arizona, or maybe get to Arizona, but that's like another $100 for permit because of that. Because between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City, if you go on that freeway 15, you spend about 20 miles inside Arizona. So I would need a permit for Arizona, which is never a good, you know, you try to use as few states as possible, right? Because the permit company charges me a fee for each state. So it'll be, let's say the permit will be $100, and then the permit company will charge me, I forgot, 25, $27 for the permit. Whereas if I go like this, Las Vegas over there, right? If I go north on 6 and 93, and then I go east into Utah, so that's it, no Arizona, right? So I'm saving $125 minimum. And then I make my way towards Salt Lake City, and then I go east into Wyoming. And I know Wyoming will be expensive, and one thing I'm a bit afraid of is that Wyoming considers this with that much weight. I think I'll be about, so the load is 115,000 pounds and I'm 73, so 188,000 pounds gross. So that's pretty heavy. And Wyoming considers that a super load. And on their website they say, be advised that super loads can take up to 2 business weeks to process for permits. So that's my main job today, is to decide which route to take. And also I talked to the shipper, which is actually the trucking company that's bringing that was hired to bring the machine from California, right? And they have all kinds of equipment there. And so I called them, I said, wait a second, today's Monday, right? The load will be in the yard on Wednesday, or they said late night Tuesday, which is tomorrow. And I'm thinking, so I'd rather come early, because I spend like half a day setting up, as they say, setting up your truck, right? So you have to take the Jeep off, flip the neck, hook up the Jeep, hook up to the trailer, right? And then this time I need to change the booster again. You know, I did not do it first time because I was afraid. I wanted to see how the booster performs, but it worked fine so far. I don't have, you know, after the repair, right? So far I don't see any issues over there. But a lot of these states don't give enough weight on 3+1. And if this pile driver or piling rig or drill rig is similar to the one I hauled in March to Alberta, I need 2+2, right? And back then, actually, if you remember, I went to Las Vegas with 2+2 empty, but I raised 2 out of 4 axles, and so going empty was no problem. But I had no idea that I needed shims, right? And when I tried to load that thing on 2+2, it did not work. It couldn't transfer the weight, and so I had to switch to 3+1, which was super difficult because it was already, the load was already on the trailer. It's very difficult when you have weight on your axles, right? But now I have the shims. I know 2+2 works, And so I called the shipper. I said, hey, I talked to you guys last week. This is a SERGEI Canadian guy coming to get that pile driver going to Toronto. And I said, you guys mentioned that you will help me set up the truck, but I said, I just realized that this thing is can be super heavy on the back, right? Because the guy told me it was a crane on tracks, and only when I got my rate confirmation I saw that it was a drill rig, right? And so I'm coming with 3+1, but I said, hey, if you want, I'll pay you, because this is gonna take a couple of hours to switch out, take one axle from the trailer, disconnect the axle on the booster, and put the axle from the trailer in between the booster and this last axle, and then reconnect. So it's a pain in the butt, but it has to be done, because 3+1, I think it's 60 and 28 in Nevada, but 2+2 is like 50 and 50. Of course, I cannot do 50, but I can do 23 and 23, 46, you know, just to be on the safe side. And so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I told the guy, hey, so can I come to, I know that the load is not going to be there. I just want to come Tuesday, so I have, you know, a whole day, and I can do it without being in a rush. And we'll just prepare everything, you know, unload the Jeep, flip the neck. And I told him about the booster, and I said, I understand it's something separate. I should have come with 2+2 myself, but if you want, I said, I'll pay you. So he didn't tell me, so if they want me to pay, I'll pay them. But I want to set up everything, and then I'll take the truck and just bobtail back to the truck stop, because these guys are not too far from the Petro in North Las Vegas, where I was sitting last time waiting for permits, right? And so then Wednesday morning, I know my truck is ready, like the trailer is ready, right? I'll just bobtail to the shipper Wednesday morning. Probably loading will not take more than 2 hours, you know? And maybe today, that's another thing I can do, but again, it's already too late. It's 4 o'clock in Iowa, but I can probably, I don't know. Some permits don't take that long, but even to go from the shipper to the truck stop, right, I need a permit. Just, I want to scale. I don't know if these guys have a scale or not, but I want to scale. And I know that Petro, it has a scale. Yeah, I still remember that Petro. I know where I can park, where I cannot park, because last time the guy woke me up, the local security guy, a cop, working part-time as a security guard, woke me up at 1 o'clock in the morning because he did not like how I was parked. Oh, somebody's gonna hit you over here. Park outside. And so this way, so tomorrow, well, I wanted to reach Las Vegas today. It was only 3 hours, but then I said, you know, if I go to a truck stop, then I'll have to go to the shipper in the morning. So instead, I wanna stop somewhere, like this truck stop I found. What is this? Yeah, like 200 kilometers, so 120 miles from here. There's a small truck stop. I'm gonna spend the night there, and then leave probably around 5 or 6. I like leaving early and be at the shipper, and we start dealing with this crazy stuff. But
In half a mile, turn left onto Nevada 318 South.
what? You're only telling me this now? Yeah, I remember this. That's how I came when I was loaded. So 6 goes over there.
Take the next left onto Nevada 318 South.
Okay, and these guys have a stop sign. This guy on the left has a stop sign.
Continue
far is Las Vegas? Las Vegas, 217 miles, 217. Oh boy, I wish I would have my Challenger over here, you know, Dodge Challenger. Wow, this would be awesome. But I really like this kind of like scenery, you know. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So stopping, I think from that truck stop where I'm going, it's only about hour and a half to North Las Vegas, where my shipper is. And I'm gonna get up real early, drive over there, take care of the Jeep and booster and the neck, and I'm just gonna leave my trailer there, bobtail to the truck stop. So yeah, then in the morning I'm gonna bobtail to the truck stop. I mean, after doing everything, right? Bobtail to the truck stop and relax there till Wednesday. And then Wednesday bobtail back to the shipper and get loaded. And then order permits, scale. But yeah, but today the most important thing is to make a decision about the route. Now, some people will ask you why I cannot go into California. California requires inspection of 4-axle trucks. So a 4-axle truck like mine, because I have a lift axle, I cannot get a permit unless I'm inspected. And some people are saying that these inspections can take up to a month, because you have to be physically there. You have to go into California to be inspected. And of course those guys are busy. There's only certain places where you can get it inspected, right? And I'm pretty sure they're not gonna like my control over here, where I can deploy the axle from the cab. But that's how I was told. This is how Kenworth told me that. They said as long as you cannot adjust the pressure. So he gave me the switch in here for the lift axle, but the pressure was outside. Like I can adjust the pressure. He says this way it should be, he says this way it's okay for a heavy haul operation. Otherwise they will want all the controls outside of the cab. But now we removed that one, because now I install the valve that equalizes the pressure in the lift axle and the drives. And so, but anyway, California, they have their special rules, so I'm pretty sure they're not gonna like this setup. They might say, hey, we need all controls behind, you know, outside of cab. And so you're just gonna waste your time driving there, waiting 2, 3, 4 weeks for inspection, and then they say sorry. And that's one thing. And then another thing, on their website they said they require inspection of all single axle boosters. Okay, so I can hook up mine as 2+2, then it's not a single axle booster, so it should be okay. But I'm pretty sure California, that's what they call West Coast, they have a total different system, like how the booster is connected. Like I'm pretty sure my booster is not gonna work, because they have a special requirements over there for but I know it's different. I know West Coast, that's California, East Coast is what I have. And so it just, I know a lot of my friends who do heavy haul, they don't want to, even the Americans, they don't want to go into California. Just the rules are too different. Okay, and so for me, it's the same thing. The local guy goes into California, bring it to Las Vegas. I pick it up in Las Vegas and take it to Ontario. And it was my marketing genius that came up with this idea, right? Because I saw the guy had a load from California going to Toronto, and it's been sitting on the load board for a week, and he keeps increasing the rate. and clearly he still cannot find the truck, right? And so I thought, hey, why not? So looks like the shipper is not exactly poor, right? So they might agree to my offer, and so I told him, hey, this is what I can do for you, right? Just find a guy to take it to Las Vegas. I'll take it from there. I'll take it from Las Vegas. And it took him a week, and they said, okay, here's what we can pay you. I said, all right. And so it's a bit less than what I hoped, and that's why I'm really glad I found this loophole with the route where I can save over $2,000 on permits, right? By going 1 day longer, but since they didn't want to pay me my rate, I think this is gonna work. So that's what's happening. That's your update for Monday. What's today? 14th, 15th? I have no idea. 14th of September 2020. Oh, and my insurance renewal has been approved. I just received the quote. I think it's same as last year. And they sent me an assessment. Remember that accident in New Jersey where the booster went into the opposite lane for some reason? They sent me an assessment. They said, this is what we paid. And they said, this is not a request for payment. So I don't know, maybe they took care of it themselves. Like I'm pretty sure I have like $5,000 deductible, so I'm supposed to pay 5 grand Canadian, but nobody said anything. I'm not gonna bug them. Hey, do you want me to pay you? Like, I don't want to do that, right? If they tell me to pay for that accident, I'll pay. But again, the maximum liability on my end is 5,000 Canadian. But I have the approval. They agreed to, you know, renew my policy for another year. All I gotta do now is the insurance broker says, okay, so if everything is good, if you don't have any questions, let's meet for breakfast or lunch, and we have to sign this. And I'm like, what lunch? I said, I'm loading in Las Vegas Wednesday. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Okay. So now the last thing I gotta worry about is my cab card, which I have to renew before the end of the month, but it's still valid until September 30th. So which gives me plenty of time to deliver this machine to Toronto and then park and then deal with the cab card situation. So I have the annual permit for Ontario renewed. So I'll renew the insurance once I'm back in Toronto. We'll have to sign the paperwork, right? And we'll do the cab card. Beautiful. So, all right, let's see where the road goes. In front of that mountain, does it go to the right? I think it goes to the right. Oh yeah, I see over there trucks far in the distance. So the road goes like this in front of that big mountain. So $55. I already can see 45. All right. Down to 35. А я еду за туманом. За туманом и за запахом тайги. I have no idea what town it is, but we are on Highway 318. Oh boy. Now we're down to 25. Kilometers an hour. And it's all farms. All. It's called Land. L-U-N-D. Land. Oh, that's the guy that passed me when we were going through the hills and with that flatbed in the front. This guy passed us across the double line, and now he's here. His engine died. Probably he accelerated. Went too fast for that old girl, like a super old Ford or Chevy. All right. Yeah, farms. And here we have a New Holland dealer, and the sign says rodeo grounds. So these guys have some rodeo celebrations occasionally, I guess. Some old-timers shooting the breeze. Howdy. School. What a tiny land school. What a tiny baby school. Are we gonna have any signs where it says that 25 is over or 35 is over? There's some poor guy behind me probably thinking, why is this trucker driving so slow? But I don't see any signs. And sometimes they do that, you know, they don't want to spend money on signs canceling the speed limit. And sometimes you have to look in the mirror to see on the where it starts on the opposite side, you know. Like you see, there's nothing. Now we're already going into the mountains. Cannot be 25 here, no way. Okay, I see, what is that? 35. Wow. Cemetery. See, they had fire here. I saw something like this in Oregon. All right, so I don't don't think that we're gonna see any more exciting scenery. So we're gonna finish this blockbuster here, somewhere south of Land, Nevada, on Highway 318. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, stay tuned.